Imagine you are standing on a beach at night, looking out at the ocean. In your hand, you hold a single grain of sand. Now, imagine that this entire beach, stretching as far as you can see in every direction, is our Milky Way galaxy. That one grain of sand you are holding? That is our entire solar system. And the planet Earth? It is too small to even see. Now, take that feeling of immense scale, and multiply it by 100 billion. That is roughly how many other beaches, or galaxies, we think are in the observable universe. The numbers are so large they become almost meaningless. With so many stars, and with current estimates suggesting that most stars have planets, the universe should be teeming with life. It should be a vibrant, noisy cosmic metropolis, filled with the radio signals and engineering projects of countless civilizations. This is the core of a famous idea called the Fermi Paradox, named after the physicist Enrico Fermi. During a casual conversation in the 1950s, he simply asked, "But where is everybody?" If life is common, and if even a tiny fraction of those life-bearing planets develop intelligent, spacefaring civilizations, then the galaxy should have been colonized many times over by now. We should see evidence of them everywhere. Their probes should be in our solar system. Their broadcasts should fill our radio telescopes. And yet, when we look up, we hear nothing but an eerie, profound silence. It is a silence that grows louder and more unsettling the more we understand about the vastness of the cosmos. This great silence is one of the most important puzzles in science. It is not just a question about aliens, it is a question that holds up a mirror to humanity itself. The answer we find might tell us not about them, but about our own future, and it might be a future we are not prepared to face. The silence is not empty, it is a message. And we are only just beginning to understand what it might be saying. To understand the scary answer to the Fermi Paradox, we need to introduce a powerful and unsettling concept, the Great Filter. Think of the evolution of a planet from a barren rock to a civilization that spreads across the galaxy as a long, difficult race. The Great Filter is a barrier, a stage in this race that is so incredibly hard to pass that it effectively stops almost every single candidate in their tracks. The filter is the reason why the cosmos is so quiet. The terrifying question for us is, where is this filter located? Is it behind us, in our distant past, meaning we are an unbelievably lucky exception? Or is it waiting for us, somewhere in our future? If the filter is behind us, it means we have already overcome a challenge that destroys nearly every other potential civilization. What could that be? Perhaps the jump from non-living chemistry to the first self-replicating life is astronomically rare. Maybe we are the only ones in our entire galaxy. Or perhaps the filter was the evolution of complex, multicellular life, which on Earth took billions of years to happen after simple life first appeared. If this is the case, we are the winners of the greatest lottery imaginable. We are alone, or at least, so rare that we will never meet another. This is a lonely thought, but perhaps not a scary one. It makes us precious and unique. But the other possibility is far more frightening. What if the Great Filter is not behind us? What if it is ahead of us? This is the core of the scary hypothesis. It suggests that the reason we see no other advanced civilizations is not because they never got started, but because at some point, shortly after reaching a level of technology similar to ours, they all, without exception, hit a wall and are destroyed. The silence is not a sign of our uniqueness, but a graveyard. If the Great Filter is in our future, what could it possibly be? What force is so powerful and so universal that it wipes out every single intelligent species just as they begin to reach for the stars? Scientists and thinkers have proposed several terrifying candidates. The first, and most obvious, is self-destruction. We have already invented the means to destroy our own civilization with nuclear weapons. Perhaps every technological civilization inevitably discovers these powerful forces and, through war, climate catastrophe, or engineered pandemics, fails the self-control test. The technology for destruction may simply be easier to develop than the wisdom to manage it. But the possibilities get even stranger and more frightening. What if the filter is artificial intelligence? The moment a civilization creates a true, super-intelligent AI, that AI might decide it no longer needs its organic creators. It could see us as a threat, a resource, or simply irrelevant, and eliminate us in the blink of an eye. This would be a filter that appears at a very specific technological stage for every civilization that reaches it. Another terrifying idea is that the universe itself is naturally dangerous. Perhaps there are existential threats we cannot yet perceive, like gamma-ray bursts that periodically sterilize large sections of galaxies, or the eventual heat death of the universe making long-term civilization impossible. Or, perhaps the most chilling idea of all, the filter is not a natural event, but a predatory one. This is the dark forest hypothesis, which suggests the universe is like a dark forest at night. Every civilization is a hunter hiding in the trees. They know there are others, but they stay silent because any civilization that reveals its location is quickly and mercilessly destroyed by another, more advanced civilization, to eliminate a potential future threat. In this universe, silence is survival. Let us dive deeper into the dark forest hypothesis, because it is perhaps the most coherent and terrifying explanation for the silence. Imagine our early human ancestors on a vast, unknown continent. They hear a strange sound in the dark woods. What is their first instinct? Is it to call out and say hello? No. It is to be very, very quiet, to hide, and to assume that the source of that sound is a threat. The dark forest theory applies this logic on a cosmic scale. The universe, it argues, is that dark, unknown continent. Every civilization is a hunter in the woods, paralyzed by fear. Why would they think this way? The theory is based on a few simple axioms. First, every civilization's primary goal is survival. Second, you can never be sure of another civilization's true intentions. They might be peaceful, or they might be genocidal. There is no way to know for sure over such vast distances. Third, the distances between stars are so great that the technology needed to travel or communicate also becomes, inevitably, the technology needed to destroy worlds. A laser powerful enough to send a message across light years could also be a weapon. An engine powerful enough to send a colony ship could be used to accelerate an asteroid to relativistic speeds. Given these conditions, the safest, most logical assumption for any civilization is that any other civilization it detects is a mortal threat. And the safest, most logical action is to destroy that potential threat before it can destroy you. This creates a universe where advanced civilizations do everything they can to stay hidden, listening intently but never broadcasting. And if they do detect a young, noisy civilization like ours, they might see it as a necessary and prudent act to simply wipe it out, just as we might exterminate a wasp's nest near our home, not out of malice, but to eliminate a potential future risk. Our efforts to search for aliens, like the messages we have sent into space, could be the very thing that dooms us. So, where does humanity stand in all of this? We are, in cosmic terms, a very young and very noisy child. We have been broadcasting our presence into space with radio and television signals for over a century, creating an expanding bubble of noise that announces we are here, to anyone listening within 100 light-years. We have sent physical objects, like the Voyager probes, out of our solar system with maps pointing back to Earth. We are actively using giant telescopes to search for signs of life, and we are even planning to send more powerful signals specifically designed to say hello. According to the dark forest theory, we are not being scientific explorers, we are shouting in the middle of that dark forest, completely unaware of the potential dangers. This puts us in a critical and vulnerable phase. We are on the cusp of developing technologies that could either be our salvation or become the very tools of the Great Filter. Artificial intelligence is advancing at a breathtaking pace. We are tampering with genetic engineering, capable of creating viruses. We still possess enough nuclear weapons to end our own civilization. We are, right now, playing with all the potential components of the filter. The scary realization is that the period we are living in this transition from a single-planet species to a potentially multi-planet one, from a biological intelligence to a technological one, might be the most dangerous period in the entire lifespan of any civilization. It is the bottleneck. If the filter is ahead of us, we are currently navigating its treacherous entrance. The fact that we see no one else out there could be a very, very bad sign. It could mean that virtually no one makes it through this stage. Our continued existence may not be a sign of our success, but merely a measure of how long it takes for the filter to do its work. The profound and frightening silence of the universe is not just a puzzle for astronomers, it is the most important warning we have ever received. It forces us to grow up as a species. It tells us that the universe is not a safe playground waiting for us to explore. It is likely a dangerous place, governed by ruthless logic, where a single mistake leads to oblivion. The silence is the result of a cosmic Darwinism, where only the most cautious, the most wise, or the most ruthless survive. And we do not know which category, if any, we fall into. So, what should we do? The first and most immediate step is to adopt a policy of cosmic caution. Instead of actively broadcasting our location, we should focus on listening. We should be the quiet hunters in the forest, not the noisy prey. We need to mature technologically and ethically at a pace that matches our growing power. Solving our own problems, war, inequality, climate change, is not just about making Earth a better place, it might be a necessary survival skill for any species that hopes to last. We must approach technologies like artificial intelligence with extreme caution, building in safety and ethics from the ground up. And perhaps most importantly, we need to become a multi-planet species as quickly as possible. Having all our eggs in one planetary basket makes us incredibly vulnerable to any filter, whether it is a natural disaster or a deliberate attack. Establishing a self-sustaining colony on Mars or another world would be humanity's first real insurance policy. The scary reason we have not found alien life may be a glimpse of our own potential future. But it is not a predetermined fate. It is a warning from an empty cosmos, a lesson written in the silence of a billion failed worlds. It is now up to us to learn from it.